Hi everyone, I'm Carla.
And I'm Lanes. And together, we're the Aft Deck.
Where each week we recap an episode of Bravo's hit reality TV show,
Below Deck.
Hi Lanes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm really good. I haven't seen you for 2 weeks.
We both went on a little holiday.
We did separately at the same time. Tonight, what are we talking about? Season 10, Episode 7, Eat Me, in 7 different languages. Before we start, there's a bit of goss this week. Did you hear what Bravo announced today?
No.
Below Deck Down Under, Season 2.
I wonder if Ben will be on it.
He's not, because he's on Below Deck Season 11, which was also announced.
Oh, I'm behind the times.
But do you know who is on Below Deck Down Under Season 2?
Who?
Aisha.
Oh, great.
And the hot captain. Can't remember his name.
Oh, that looks like Hugh Jackman.
Jackman. I was going to say Hefner.
Well, you don't want to look like him.
No. So in this episode, we kick off with round 869 of Camille and Alissa. Will Captain Sandy actually fire Camille is the big question of the episode. And these guests are something freaking else. Right, we kick off where we left off last episode.
Yeah, so Camilla is still very upset.
Camilla Parker Bowles.
We've just had the coronation.
Did
you watch it?
No.
I had it on in the Hunter Valley.
Did you?
I had a Brit with us.
Oh, well, then you had to. So Camille is spiralling. Alissa is baiting her.
Oh, completely. She goes back to her cabin and collects herself. She does that pretty quickly, actually. I was impressed.
Yeah.
She was so upset and then she just kind of like breathes, pulls herself together and just moves on.
Ben finds her.
Yeah, and consoles her with a big hug and helps to change her mood.
Because she got her ass chewed out. That's what she says. I think that's an American phrase.
It's certainly not something I would want.
I would never say, I just got my ass chewed out. There's another one. It's something that the British say for like, come and, root me out. I remember this because I was in a class.
It is not root me out.
I was in a class and she wrote on the whiteboard, come and root me out in the staff room when you finish.
What?
And it just meant,
Were you at a porno school?
Come and root me out. Come and find me.
What?
But to us it means
like
come and
I'm feeling things.
come and have oral sex with me.
What school is this?
It was English language teaching. Yep. And when she came back, we had to tell her, sorry, you can't write that on the whiteboard in Australia.
Hayley's in the cabins making the beds and Camille breaks another glass in the stew pantry. Another glass.
Another glass. Did you catch Fraser talking about his nipples?
Yeah.
Oh, he said they were too low and he wants them augmented.
Yeah.
Fraser, I'm sure your nipples are pure perfection.
He is pure perfection, but Fraser is always so self-deprecating. He doesn't need any help. He is divine.
He is.
Ross, Tony and Ben are on the deck and Tony is giving Ben a bit of shit about the sexing on the top bunk.
Ooh, the bunk was a rockin'.
It's funny.
Tony, who needs his sleep, was a pretty good sport about it.
He's so casual about everything, to be honest.
So he tells Ben, you know what, dude, just let me know next time and I'll go be somewhere else.
Because it's so funny and I couldn't stop laughing because then Tony starts with the sound effects. And I'm just like, Ben's cracking up. It's just funny.
Yeah.
They just make fun of each other and it's okay.
I mean, there's not a lot of clearance between the top bunk and the ceiling.
Never, ever will I ever do what Ben did with Camille on top of a top bunk with someone underneath. It's 4 p.m. and it's 20 hours before the charter. Fraser talks to Captain Sandy about the interior roster and Fraser's moved Camille to be with him on early shifts now to avoid conflict between the girls.
Amazing.
And Captain Sandy's like, so good, Fraser. Like, well done.
And I'm like, you could have done that
Gazillion
days
times.
ago.
Yeah. So Captain Sandy calls Fraser, Ross and Rachel for a preference sheet meeting. Have you noticed what they want on their preference sheets?
The hooker.
Yep.
They love their friends, their hooker and their cigars. Now, I don't know maybe we're saying it wrong, but in Australia we do actually call it a hookah pipe.
Yeah.
They are calling it a hookah. So when we say
I'm saying hookah.
Yeah, so when we say hookah in this episode, we're talking about the pipe that you smoke tobacco through.
Not a prostitute.
Sex worker.
Oh, you don't like that word?
No.
Oh, more things I found out.
Yeah, so they love their friends, they love their hookah, and they love their cigars.
They like their food hot.
Spicy hot.
Spicy hot. They want a surprise party for the primary's wife and a Bollywood dinner party.
Which makes Rachel happy because she knows all about Indian food culture, even speaks a bit of Hindi.
Which would be so impressive.
Oh, amazing. And what does Ross need to find?
Oh, Ross needs to find a light, white, fluffy, sandy beach cloud.
Soft and white sand. Very specific. I was just going to ask you.
Yeah.
If you were going to write your preference sheet, would you have anything soft and white on it?
Let me think about that. Soft and white. Yeah, marshmallows.
Oh, great. Do you want to hear some of the weirdest requests?
Yeah, hit me.
Chicken carpaccio. To which the chef said, no, I'm not making you raw chicken. Raw chicken. Black sand, live baby octopus to eat live.
Oh,
Italian food with no garlic, onion, olive oil, salt or herbs.
So shit.
Basically,
we want a shit dinner.
Plain pasta. And the last one, margarita pizza without cheese or sauce. Just ask for bread.
Dough.
Yeah, that's it.
So random.
I know. The chicken carpaccio got me. So they work really hard at turning the boat around, even Camille, and they all go to bed early that night, except Camille, who doesn't appreciate it. She says, I don't appreciate you're going to bed so early.
So Camille has done the laundry and Fraser gives her a big hug. I was happy to see that.
Yeah, she's working hard and people are noticing.
Yeah, that was nice. Finally, she got the hug that I wanted to give her.
Ben announces that there's provisions on the dock, and this is where we get the title of the episode. It's kind of random. Rachel just says, eat me. I can write it in 7 different languages. So for this charter, Sandy thinks it's going to be great to anchor offshore and then tender the guests.
Now, she talks about this quite a lot. She mentions it a few times.
She does.
She says it at the preference sheet meeting. She says it a couple of other times after that. Like, she's really excited. I love it when Captain Sandy has an idea and she's really excited about it. So I'm excited to see how the guests like it.
It doesn't really go as she'd hoped, does it?
No.
But I do appreciate Ben on the tender going to get the guests.
Yeah.
And his hair's blowing back in the breeze. He's in his whites. I'm like, yeah, this is very James Bond-esque. I would be happy if he picked me up on the dock.
Ben can do no wrong.
Let me tender you to the super yacht.
Bloody hell. So guests are incoming. The guests meet the crew and Captain Sandy asks the first guest that gets on board,
how was your tender ride?
what was it like coming up? Not bad.
Meaning
Not great.
not impressed.
But this was the first taste of them
Yeah.
as guests.
Very hard to impress.
Very demanding. So Rachel speaks to them in Hindi.
They love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Give her a hug, I think. Fraser takes them on a tour.
And we get all these little snippets about the friggin' hookah. Where can we do the hookah?
Yes.
Is this the only place we can do hookah?
This won't be a good place for the hooker with the wind.
We'd like to do the hookah in a couple of different places.
Did you get that we want to do the hooker?
Oh, this is a good spot for the hookah.
This won't do for the hooker.
It just went on and on and on.
It's 12:30 now and drinks are being served and they are hammering Alissa.
Oh, shit. That's exactly what I've got. Alissa is being hammered at the
One
bar.
after the other and specific brands.
And everyone's asking for different things. They're all talking over each other. And Alissa says, these guys are going to rip our asses apart.
Lots of ass talk, chewing asses, ripping asses.
Rachel wants to burn their asses off later as well.
I mean, ass central. It's 1:43. So it's not been long since they've been on the boat, really. And they are demanding food. So hungry. Rachel's prepping the lunch. And I'm like, it's not going to be soon if she's just prepping because we know what she's like.
No, and she's making her murder sauce
Murder sauce.
full of Scotch bonnets. I would buy that
I wouldn't.
in a bottle
No,
by the carton.
no thanks.
Okay.
Love you, Rachel, but just don't like things hot. So it's 2:15 and it's 45 minutes until lunch at this point. So let's just remember that at 20 to 2, they were starving.
Yeah.
Now it's 2:15 and Captain Sandy joins the guests.
And they have a bit of a boogie.
Yeah. They complain to her, Captain Sandy, about being hungry.
Yeah. We're so hungry. And Captain Sandy goes, okay, I'll sort it out for you.
Lunch is at 3.
Yeah. Lunch is at 3. She looks at a watch and she's like, it's not even 3.
Yeah, you knew lunch was at 3. Stop your whining.
Yeah.
It's 2:45 now and it's 15 minutes to lunch. They're seated and again mentioning how hungry they are.
Mentioning, I think they're chanting. And Fraser is kind of saying to Rachel, oh, Rachel, they're starving already. And she's like, yeah, look, I get it. Lunch isn't even late.
Correct.
They can deal.
Agree.
Non-issue.
When it finally arrives, they make this huge deal that it's come.
And then we get the comments.
Oh, they hate it.
Fish is dry, disgusting.
One of them says it's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Bland.
I was expecting higher quality.
I'm unhappy.
That's bad. We just get a barrage of the negative.
How many times this season has Rachel ever had a complaint about her food?
I can't even think
Neither can I.
of one.
How many times have we had so many compliments about Rachel's food?
Constantly.
What the fuck?
So Rachel arrives to announce what she's made, and one of the guests say, well, it's very bland. You need to add more spice. So then we see Rachel saying, oh, great. Bring it on. I'm going to turn up my hot. She said, I'm happy to have you on board, and she's going to burn their assholes off, which is another ass reference.
Yeah. And then they still keep complaining about the food after she's gone.
It's relentless.
4:30, still complaining as they leave the table.
Ross orchestrates a break for him and Katie at the same time, and so they get a little snuggle on the bunk. And Katie tells us that Ross is amazing work-wise. They have an insane connection, but she hasn't slept with him yet because he's a sloppy drunk and he can't keep himself together. Katie, you are 100% spot on.
Trust thy gut.
She can read him like a book.
Yeah, she's good value, Katie.
And actually, they're having open conversations about it. She's telling him.
Yeah, she's not backwards. I like her.
Yeah.
How she deals with him. Interior starts setting the dinner table and it looks like it's going to be really pretty.
Lots of flowers. They're also putting flowers in their hair.
Yes. Like floral.
Arrangements. Like if they were going to the coronation.
If they were getting married.
Yeah.
Like if they were flower girls at a wedding. Ooh. What do you call them? They're not floral crowns? Flower crowns?
That'll do.
They're a name.
I don't know the name.
The guests now arrive at the dinner table and it's beautiful. It's like out of a Disney movie. They've done a really nice job.
It's gorgeous. Did you hear what Hayley said about her flower arrangement on her head?
What did she say?
She said, I look like I've been dragged backwards through a hedge at 6 a.m. in the morning coming home from a party. And Camille says to her, yeah, you do look very majestical.
Oh, I love it. Now I'm nervous for the meal.
Yeah, they're sitting down and they're kind of enjoying it.
First up, like you said, they like it. Second, what is it? Chorizo?
Chorizo.
Cold.
I need a paper napkin, Fraser.
Why does she need one?
Because she has to spit it out. And she does it so obviously. And yes, she apologises, but really, is that necessary to make it so public? Just deal with it quietly and move on.
It's just not to her taste. She just didn't like it, but it's not that it means that it's disgusting.
No, and Fraser's keeping a lot of this feedback to himself because it's not worth upsetting Rachel. And I agree. I think Fraser's making a good decision there because it's not normal feedback. It's not constructive in any way.
No. So guess what happens now?
What?
It's 12:40 a.m.
Yep.
Guess what time it is? Hookatage.
Hookatage.
They also asked for cigars.
Oh, my God. Lanes, this is so funny.
So embarrassing.
So all the crew go to bed. So it's Ben and Alissa on nights. One of the guests, they're pissed, and he just says to Alissa, I want in the next 2 minutes all the crew now.
Yep.
And she's like, well, everyone's working or sleeping. I haven't had a lot good to say about Alissa, but she deals well with these guests.
She handles this night really well.
She tolerates the shit coming at her.
On that point, later on, they're ordering shots and they're like, make 5. And Alyssa's like, we're doing it.
And there were
in
5.
like the most monotone. We're doing it.
But there were 5 shot glasses there.
Know. So the cigars.
Yes, the cigars. What happens?
They're fucking backwards.
Oh, my God. I could not believe it.
They make a big deal about the cigars, that they're big cigar guys. They want, and gals. I think the girls are smoking them too.
Yep, and the hooker.
So they make a big deal about the cigars, and you see them, and they're smoking them they're backwards. Like, how do you not know that? I don't smoke. How do you not know that? I would know how to smoke a cigar.
And
I would inhale. It would be wrong, but I would know which way to put it in my mouth.
Even if one person knew how to smoke a cigar, they would say, no, this way. So there's a whole group of them. Obviously, none of them know, and they're smoking them backwards. And Ben is runs down to Alissa, and he's like, oh my God, they're smoking them backwards.
And they act so cool. They're just standing there with these cigars, acting cool. Oh, God, it was hilarious.
And then Alissa actually wanted to give her credit for this line because I thought maybe this would have been a better episode title.
Yeah.
She says, it's so funny to see these guests smoking their dick-like cigars backwards, balls deep in their mouths.
So funny.
And I was like, yes, that is her revenge from dealing with their obnoxious shit all night, to see them smoking these cigars backwards.
So funny. I'm going to go through something here because I noted all of the times down.
Excellent.
And I'm like, this is insane. Bear with me.
Go.
1:50 a.m, ordering Don Julio with sparkling water.
Mm-hmm.
2:16 a.m, tequila with sparkling water.
Mm-hmm.
2:35, they asked for their area to be cleaned.
Okay.
2:48, they smash a glass and tell Alissa, maybe you just want to clean it up, 3:07, dancing and complaining that Alissa has been using 2 different types of tequilas. 3:26, they finally go to bed. So from 12:40 to 3:26, you've got belligerent, demanding,
Tequila infused,
backward smoking,
hooker smoking.
Yes. 20 to 4, she goes to bed. That is a huge shift.
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes after Alissa goes to bed, Tony's up.
Yeah.
Working out.
What did he do in his workout?
My son was in the room when I was watching the show, and I paused and I said, watch this. And I showed him what he was doing, like a one-armed push-up incline.
Off a coffee table that was higher than his body.
Weighted with weights on him.
Oh, I didn't notice the weights on his arms or legs.
I noticed them on his legs. I don't know about his arms.
Oh, my God, Tony.
One arm.
Yeah.
My son was impressed. It's 6 a.m. and it's the second day of charter, and the deck crew haul the anchor and they're en route to another location.
Yep. And the guests are up at 9. They enjoy their breakfast, so tick, tick for Rachel. The crew are preparing the beach picnic, the barbecue, and we already get the guests. Actually, last night they said how much they were hoping for a great spot with no stones. So we heard it in the preference sheet meeting, soft white sand. They said it again at dinner, no stones. They're really, really hoping for an idyllic beach location, and Sandy picks a shit box. But we'll get to that later.
Oh, that's good. It's 12:30. Captain Sandy goes out on the tender looking for
white soft sand. And what does she find? She finds, as Fraser says when he gets there, cars, bottle caps, dogs, rubbish, the odd syringe, and a kid on a horse. But he's going to dress it up because he's going to stay in his lanes.
It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
It's a pretty shit spot. Anyway, the guests are ready to go. They're having shots before they leave, and then they leave. They get off the boat. Do they love it, Lanes?
No, it's rocky and she hates it.
Fucking hate it. Too rocky. And
ready for food.
they're hungry.
A random dog comes over to the table. It's not good. Like, it's not ideal.
But they do like the food. They enjoy their burgers.
Still complaining, not impressed. It's not secluded. It looks like a rundown campground. They're not happy that their requests weren't met.
Yep.
It's 5:10 and Alissa leaves the beach, leaving Tony, Ben and Camille with the guests. And Alissa arrives back and the first thing she says is that Camille was swimming in the water.
Oh, she's already, you can just see straight up, she's pissed that Camille is enjoying herself.
She was in the water because she had, you know, the floating drinks baskets?
I think we need one for the pool.
Absolutely. She's got this basket and she's got the drinks inside of it with Ben and they're just holding onto the basket while the guests are, you know, kind of around it, taking their drinks, having fun. And so while Ben's holding onto it, chatting to the guests, she just has a little swim. It's not like she's gone into the water to have a swim while the guests are needing something.
Yeah.
So the guests are sent back on the tender. Hayley, Alissa and Fraser are setting up for the Bollywood-themed dinner. The guests are back. So who's left at the beach?
Camille and Ben.
It's very romantic.
The scene was beautiful and they sit, they enjoy the sunset, they have a kiss. She says, I really like him, but
Distance.
he's an Aussie and so it's not realistic for us to carry on after this because, hello, how can you have a relationship across the Atlantic?
I was going to say Atlantic too.
Oh, good. Let's hope it's that. And then we cut to Ben and Ben's like, oh, man, I am falling hard. What am I doing?
It's really cute.
It is.
So it's 20-7 and everyone in their blacks. Alissa is serving more drinks.
Mm.
They drink a lot, but they handle it well. And none of them look like, they look like they've had a bit of alcohol, but they don't look
Paralytic,
Yeah.
which is what I would be.
They're not slipping on the spar and breaking their back, you know?
No.
Okay, this is where it all goes down. Camille gets back on board. She's got a full load of stuff. Her hands are full. Hayley says to her that she's got a welcome back job for her to do. And Camille just says, yeah, not right now, like because she's literally just walking through wanting to put her shit down.
Yep. And Alissa says, it's just ironing, babe.
Oh, my God.
Get the clothes out of the master cabin. That's it. That's the job. Honestly, if I was Camille in that moment, I would be doing the double fingers up on my way to the kitchen to unload
Flipping
the package.
thy bird.
I might not say anything, but I would definitely be doing these ones.
Yes.
If we had a video in the booth, you'd see me double middle finger upping.
Upping. It escalates. She mentions, I guess I could take Camille's attitude to the captain.
Yeah. She says, what's the chewed about? I can take it to the captain.
Such a threat.
She's doing it on purpose because she knows she'll get a rise out of Camille and it will be to Camille's detriment because Camille can't
Help
take
herself.
it. Camille says Alissa is a child for making the captain comment and then they just keep going. They're in each other's faces.
Oh, they're shouting now.
This is Alissa's MO. She wants to see Camille unravel and now it's happening.
In front of guests. They're screaming.
Even Ross can hear it down in the Laz. He's like, whoa, it's going up in the octaves. Sandy can hear it. She's right in the kitchen. So she comes out and she's like, stop. It's not okay. We're on charter. And then record scratch. We cut to, there's not even a coming up on for next week.
Oh, no, it's to be continued.
Will Sandy fire Camille? Will she fire Camille and Alissa? Stay tuned.
This is stressful.
See you next week, lads.
See you then.
Ben, if you're listening, send us a picture of a naked, a baby wombat?
No! Stop. Stop with the wombats. Leave the wildlife alone.
Resh.
Fresh, you better have those kids fed.
Even though she can see that Kamal. Even though
What did he sing?
Oh, God knows.
If you'd like to support us, go to the link in the show notes and buy us a coffee or subscribe. It's a small donation that goes towards helping us cover the costs to make our podcast. If you'd like to follow us on Insta, come over to theaftdeckpod.
Or send us an email on theaftdeckpod@gmail.com. We'd love to know what you think about the show and what you'd like us to cover for upcoming seasons.